What's good, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to be talking about a running plateau and some tools of how to get past it if you find yourself at a running plateau. First of all, if this is your first time here, my name's Matt, and on this channel we talk about all things running. If you like running, if you have ever experienced a plateau, or if you haven't and you want to find out how to get past it if you do, go ahead and hit the like button on this video, and if you're not subscribed, consider doing so at this very moment. Hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video, and we're going to get into it. Normally I would say I'm going to go for a run, but first I'm going to give you a tip on how to get past the first running plateau, or something you may find yourself in and how to get past it. Then I'm going to go for my run, then I'm going to tell you the rest of the ways to get over a running plateau. Okay, are you ready? Let's get right into it. The first reason you may find yourself in a running plateau is if you are running low quality miles, or you're not running enough, and there's a way to get past that. So a lot of new runners, they see a lot of improvement right at the beginning, and that's because, well, if you're coming from nothing, something is fantastic. So we see a lot of increase in performance in the beginning, but the way to get past that is to increase the quality of your miles. Now, a lot of people, they don't run slow when they have to and fast when they also have to. Does that make sense? That's when we come into the 80-20 running rule. And the 80-20 running rule, if you're not familiar, says that 80% of your miles should be run very easy. And by easy, run at a conversational pace. So we should be able to have a conversation if we're running together. That means your heart rate is low enough to actually speak. The other 20% is it's quality work, it's speed work, and it's work that is actually going to make you faster. Now, if you run in that kind of dead zone in the middle, sure, you're going to get fit, and if you're a new runner, you have seen the gains from just running. But as you get further, as you get a little more experience, you need to dial that in a little bit. I want you to adopt the 80-20 rule, maybe the 90-10 rule. That's kind of what I go for, especially when I'm not training, and I guarantee you will see improvements. Most of your miles need to be run easy. Now, I also mentioned that low mileage could be a reason that you've reached a plateau. And listen, if you want to be a good runner, you have to run more. And by running easier, you'll be able to log more miles without the danger of becoming injured. Now, we've all heard the terrible twos: too much, too soon, too fast. Let me tell you, too much speed, that will break you down. Okay, so I want you to go out and I want you to increase your mileage, but I want you to run very easy, very slowly. You're gonna get better. I'd put my stamp on it. Okay, with that said, now I'm going for a run, and I will catch up with you on the other side. Whew, great run. Okay, I know last time I said the temperature had come down a little bit and it was super comfortable. Well, the temperature has gone back up. Today's run was 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 23.89 Celsius. Toasty, but still got in a really good effort. Today's run was 11.6 miles, which is 18.67 kilometers, and an average pace of 809 a mile, which is 504 a kilometer. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, or the next thing I'm going to talk about when I go back into the house about reaching a plateau, is when you run most of your miles easy and you don't pick up the pace and you kind of get stuck slow. And I thought about that on today's run, and I kind of picked it up. I did several minutes at marathon pace, or marathon effort I should say, because when it's this warm it's not ideal and you have to kind of go by effort. And I also did a couple of segments at tempo pace, so just kind of picking things up. And honestly, it feels good. It makes the run go a lot quicker. It makes you feel like you've really done something when you sprinkle in a little bit of speed work. And I had a good time with it, feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna get back inside. We're gonna finish talking about the different types of runners and the different things that you may do, and you may find yourself reaching a plateau. So I will see you back in the class studio. Okay, all right, back from the run, fantastic. Okay, guys, I realize that this is going to be a lot of me talking to the camera, talking to you, but I think this is valuable information, and the things I'm telling you about are, well, they refer to different runners. It depends on what kind of runner you are. So if you're a beginner and you're not running enough, maybe you found that first one helpful and you know that you need to slow it down in order to increase your mileage, in order to be a better runner. Let's say you already run a boatload of miles. You're at your, you're running enough. Right, you're running enough miles and you have seen improvement, but you're not getting faster. And if you are that kind of runner, it's really time to dial up the speed. Now, I want you to be careful. I want you to keep within the 20% rule, but I want you to focus more on that hard work. I want you to focus more on those tempo efforts, those shorter intervals. Speed work can be really fun, and it can be addictive because of the gains that you see. You will see just weight drop off. If that's something you're after, you will see your weight come down, you'll see your body composition change, and you will get faster. So I want you to focus on doing strides at the end of your easy runs. I want you to log some VO2 max workouts, which are the very hard, very uncomfortable workouts. Now, they're going to be fairly short and you're going to be sprinkling them in very sparingly. Right? I don't want you to get injured from doing this, but I need you to focus more on this speed work if you have reached that goal and you're only running slow. Does that make sense? I know I kind of fall into this mistake, so I don't give enough speed work, but we're gonna get back to that at the end of the video because there are times where we're not improving, but we're not necessarily at a plateau. So stay tuned. The second one, if you're not improving and you're running lots of miles at a very easy pace, it's time to focus on that speed work and you will move forward. Okay, the third type of runner that may find themselves at a plateau is the runner that just goes out for a run. And you've seen other videos from me, you've seen them from a lot of YouTubers out there, the importance of warming up, and I'm telling you, it's very important. Look at me, shaking my finger at you guys. It's very important and I want you to do it. So I do have a video on the warm-up routine that I do. Listen, I understand, I want to get out there and I want to log my run ASAP. I will link to that video right up here. Click on that or go to it after you're done watching this. But if you just invest a little bit of time in your warm-up, your whole run will be better. Now, what happens if you don't do a warm-up? Well, first of all, the beginning of your run feels pretty miserable because you're spending the first 10-15 minutes of your run actually warming up. It's almost like wasting the first mile of your run. And you know that phrase, don't make any decisions in the first mile of your run? I think that's where it came from, because if you do a solid dynamic warm-up, you will start your run feeling pretty good. So a good warm-up should raise the temperature of your core and your muscles, and it should give all your big muscle groups, should send them through their full range of motion. Okay, it's also going to include some body weight exercises that will focus on the hips and the glutes. And the hips and the glutes are notoriously weak in runners. I implore you to work on them. You'll see an improvement. Before you finish that warm-up, I want you to finish it with some ballistic movements and some running drills. Think skipping, strides, or even some sprints, some very short sprints, and that will get the neuromuscular system firing on all cylinders. So I've said it a couple times in this video, warm up, and it will make your whole run better. The last type of runner that I'm talking about that has reached a running plateau is the runner that seemingly does everything right. They log their long, slow miles. They do their speed work, not more than 20% because they don't want to get injured. They warm up before their runs. They do a cool down session after their runs. They're doing everything right, but do they give enough attention to recovery? Let me be the first one to tell you today that running yourself ragged will not make you a stronger runner. It'll make you an injured runner. Rest and recovery, if you don't give it enough attention, it'll bring you down, right? It'll bring you down. It won't make your training pop. You won't get the most out of your work that you're putting in. Listen, if you're going to put all this work in, you may as well get the results that you want out of it. A good, intentional rest and recovery system will help you do that. I want you to focus on your sleep. Sleep is so important, and that is coming from someone that does not give sleep the position in the life hierarchy that it deserves. I wish I did. I need to be more intentional about that moving forward, and perhaps making this video will actually make me do it. Also, if you're trying to lose weight, you need to be intentional about what you eat after your workouts. I did do a couple of videos probably a year ago now about how you can gain weight by running. I will link to that up there and in the show notes below. Okay, my friends, thanks for staying all the way to the end of the video. I have a feeling that this video has raised more questions than I've actually answered, but if you have reached a plateau, perhaps you can identify the type of runner and where your plateau actually is by one of the 4 things that I mentioned, and you can identify and take the steps and break through that plateau. But I had mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was going to talk about something at the end, and a plateau is not always a bad thing. Now, I find myself running pretty regularly and I run slow most of the time, and that's intentional. And I guess what's most important in this, and I wish I would have put it at the beginning of the video because it's that important, that I want you to do you. If you find yourself running and you're happy with it and you're getting some results and you're getting all the byproducts of running, so it makes you hungry, it makes you tired, it makes you feel proud, that's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel proud of what you're doing. You don't always have to break through to the next step. Each of us is not on the same journey. We're not all trying to get a new 5K PB. We're not always trying to run a marathon. If we're just going out there for fitness, that is fantastic. And if you are happy with that, I want you to be happy with that. Don't think that you always have to move forward, that you have to break through a plateau. My friends, thanks again for staying all the way to the end of the video. New videos twice a week. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you next time.